saya Muhammad Farid, nomor matriks 07DTP19F1001.
Hai, nama saya Muhammad Fikri bin Sarudin, nomor matriks 07DTP19F1031.
Hai, saya Ingrid Daurus, nomor kad matriks 07DTP19F1039.
Nama saya Muhammad Rosaini bin Ramli, bernomor matriks 07DTP19F1035.
This is our project. The name of our project is Mechanical Machine Plastic Melter. So before we move on how this project works, let me tell you the equipment that we use on this project. So let's go. The first equipment was hollow steel, which cost 40 ringgit for a length of 20 feet. The second equipment is a used oven, which cost 80 ringgit. The third equipment is a motor with a complete switch, a chain, and a sprocket which costs 45 ringgit. The next equipment is a used scissor jack which costs 20 ringgit. Next equipment is a wheel which costs 9 ringgit or 1 ringgit. So the last equipment is pentagon mold and hexagon mold that made by our team. Okay, for the objective, the first is to design new recycling machine technology we can be melted much easier and faster and can help to reduce plastic pollution. Number 2 of objective is to build a machine that can reduce the problem of plastic pollution, which is now at alarming level. Number 3, to ensure that the product we produce are quality and useful in daily life. The problem statement. The first of problem statement is widespread disposal of plastic waste in our community. And then the next problem statement is unsystematic landfill.
Next, I will present on data analysis. Okay, for the first data as shown in the slide using a temperature of 150 degrees Celsius took 35 minutes using Maggie plastic material, and the result was a failure. Next, the second data, we use a temperature of 200 degrees Celsius, took 40 minutes, and plastic material used straw and plastic bottle, and our result is a failure. After that, the third data, using a temperature of 250 degrees Celsius and set the time for 30 minutes, and the result was successful but a thickness, and we used a straw as a material. The fourth data, we set the temperature to 200 degrees Celsius, set the time for 50 minutes, and combine a plastic material with three types of plastic, which is straw, plastic bottle, and Maggie plastic. Lastly, which is the fifth data, we set the temperature to 200 degrees Celsius and set the time for 1 hour using a straw as a main material, and the result was successful as can be seen in the slide. That's all for me. Thank you.
The things that were acceptable to the conclusion and recommendation will be discussed in this chapter, which is the last chapter of the study. As a result of this study, certain conclusions will be drawn based on the literature review that was complete on the data that was evaluated. This study conclusion. During the course of this study, we came up with a number of conclusions and recommendations. As a result, you have created the mechanical machine plastic melter. Overall, this project has accomplished the following objective, which is the first one is to create a mechanical plastic melter that can be melted much more easily and quickly, as well as contribute to the reduction of plastic pollution. The second one is to create a machine that will help to alleviate the problem of the plastic pollution, which is at an all-time high. The third one is to assess the mechanical machine plastic melter ability to eliminate plastic waste. As a recommendation, we should conduct study on the material we'll be using, which is plastic, so that we can select the ideal material that will melt quickly. Aside from that, run several tests on the plastic with the machine to determine the proper temperature for melting the plastic. Finally, compress the melted plastic well to ensure that the finished product is perfectly formed. That's all for me. Thank you.